Welcome back, YouTubers, to Q&A number 102 of Us, the British Fist. Just a quick announcement we want to go on before we answer the questions. Q&A 104 will mark the 2-year anniversary since we've been doing Q&As, and for that Q&A, that will be going for an hour. We have a lot of questions we need to get through, so we're going to be spending an hour on our 2-year anniversary Q&As, getting through as many as we can. So hopefully yours will be on there.
We've received some good feedback about our hour Q&A, so hopefully this one won't disappoint, which I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either. An hour of us, who can resist that? Sean Maguire at 7, it's a Twitter handle. What if Wade Barrett and Magnus were a tag team in TNA or WWE? What do you think? I think they're better off as singles guys. I don't think there's much point in pushing them as a tag team if they ever did.
My straight answer, as soon as I see that, yes, there's 2 names in this, but I look at Barrett, and I really feel that the WWE have held Barrett back for a long time now, and obviously a tag team, 2 Brits, could work, would be great, but I feel that Barrett somehow, sometime needs to be pushed up.
Squirrely Boy, aka Zach Harris. Between Dolph Ziggler and Austin Aries, who do you think is better in terms of in-ring abilities, mic skills, etc.? Austin Aries. I'm sorry, you cannot say for 1 minute that Dolph Ziggler is better than Austin Aries. No fucking way.
I'm going to give Aries a lot of credit, and I do think he's definitely better at what he does, but then again, I'm taking another way from Dolph because I do compliment his performance and skills too.
But as an overall talent, Austin Aries has it all. I'm sorry, he doesn't have the main event look, but he has way more to offer than Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, and he's in the right company to be pushing him, that's all. Sweet Latte 18. What feud would you put the Bella Twins in now they're back? You might as well keep them in a feud with the Funkadactyls and put them over, but what's the point?
I definitely wouldn't. I would think this Diva tag team sucks.
If Cena turned heel, what kind of heel would you have him be? I'd have the kind of heel... He won't ever turn heel, but if he ever did turn heel, hypothetically, I'd have him be the kind of heel that just... Like a Triple H heel who was like sort of pushed to the top, maybe a corporate heel or something. I don't know. That's something like that. I don't know.
I'd have something that really, to trigger it off would be something that's a big match, he loses, he complains, he whinges. I wouldn't have him as a whingy heel, but I'd have something that pisses him off and he can't get the job done.
Yeah, what was better, Rock's return 2003 or 2011? I'd probably say 2011, because even though I thought his 2003 character was really good, 2011, I actually watched that show and I remember marking the fuck out for Rock returning.
Even though 2011 was needed a return, 2003, because that's when Rock was hot, Rock was on fire, less complaints from fans, and The Rock was The Rock full-time then.
Yeah. And as a heel as well. If you could book Rock versus HBK, how would you have started it? Easy. You say we haven't faced off yet.
I would have gone down the continuation of when Rock's been in a feud with Triple H, somehow have the Triple H and Shawn Michaels DX time and have Rock have to face Shawn Michaels during that time too.
Heroic Punk, if there was a one-time only WWE versus TNA pay-per-view, which matches would you put for show? I think we had a similar question on the last Q&A. Matches like Sting and Undertaker, you could even like Hogan versus Vince McMahon, Bobby Roode versus Triple H, Matt Morgan versus Big Show. You could have stuff like that. I mean, you could probably put probably even put Beer Money together to face a WWE tag team like Team Hell No or something.
Sounds like a good idea. Yes.
Yeah. Jack H123100. Do you think Zack Ryder will get fired sooner or later? Sooner. I don't see the point in keeping around Zack Ryder, to be honest.
Certainly, there are some people that may still be behind Zack Ryder, but there are so many names that could be used as jobbers, but if you're not, then release.
I'll say this. It's not Ryder's fault. He got himself over. It's WWE's fault for not using his momentum. That's it, and that's all we can really go off. RGP Rich Porter. Are finishers meaningless in WWE because of the Attitude Era? You could make that point because in the Attitude Era, finishers were done so often, and they kicked out of finishers and they went through flaming tables. It did kind of make finishers feel a little bit, that they weren't going to finish a match. Like in the 80s and early 90s, a finisher would always finish a match. It's all about the drama, really, and like big matches.
There are some finishers that still do just like when Undertaker wrestles. You see, oh my god, he kicked out Undertaker's finisher, or stuff like that. There are some finishers that the WWE have just ruined, like when it's like John Cena versus CM Punk, kicked out 6-10 finishers.
Rock and Cena as well.
Yeah, they blow it. So it depends on the finisher.
I think Angle's ankle lock eventually became meaningless, and so did his Olympic slam. But the ankle lock used to get done so many times, and it used to get, it used to get to the ropes all the time. It became kind of meaningless. Why are no new finishers being made up? Well, there are. You've got like Sandow's finisher, Ryback's finisher. You've got Cesaro's uppercut, the neutralizer. There are new finishers being made. It's just that it's got to the point where every move has been done, so you're having to use variations of other moves. It's getting like that now. That's just the way it is. That's the way the business is.
It is going to be hard because obviously the creative people who are making these wrestlers, who they are, you do need to think of ways of performing finishes to do it. And when you've had so many wrestlers over a period of time, yes, the ideas are going to run out. It's
a very legitimate question, though. Is it lazy writing / booking to give a guy someone's old finisher? It's like the RKO. It's like it's a variation of the diamond cutter, but undercutter. But does it matter all that much as long as you repackage it and do it slightly differently?
I have no problem with other people as long as you don't do people's specific finishes. Like you don't do the rock bottom the people's elbow, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was specific for someone. Other like the RKO, stuff like that. I think as long as it's performed in a good way, not sloppy or rubbish, then no problem.
I think a move has to be generic. Like the cutter was very generic. Austin's stunner, you can kind of say. So as long as the move is kind of generic, and no one's going to do the pedigree apart from Velvet Sky terribly. That's not really a pedigree, but there we go. Mr. TJ Solomon 93. Why do the YWC hate big man or powerhouse wrestlers? Well, the YWC hates big man wrestlers for two reasons. Number one is because Vince McMahon wants to push big men. So immediately they don't like the corporate people like Ryback. Number two, YWC love technical wrestlers, and the big powerhouse wrestlers can't do the technical wrestling, even though big man wrestling is totally fine. They just don't appreciate it because it's the YWC.
That's one answer. My answer, if we were answered individually, it all depends on the wrestler's booking. My example for this, yes, you could hate Ryback's booking, Mason Ryan, so on your list. But my example of a big guy that the dude took seriously, when Mark Henry turned heel, the amount of fans that jumped behind him and thought, this is awesome, this is great. So I think it depends on how the big guy's booked to get the fans behind that big guy.
WWE 6636. Do you think WWE should change the design of the World Heavyweight Championship? No, it's got a great design. Keep it.
Please.
And also, it's in line with history as well, so keep that. Do you think the World Heavyweight Champion would ever main event a pay-per-view again? Not now. No, I don't think that, unless it was Cena or something like that, I don't think the World Heavyweight Champion would ever main event a pay-per-view anymore.
I think there's a chance it could, not on its own, the World Heavyweight Champion versus the WWE Champion, as long as both champions are up there to face each other.
I guess so. Asia Extreme Infinity. How many times do you think a wrestler should be world champion? There's no real specific. It depends how big that wrestler is. Like Cena and Triple H, we're always going to get loads of title runs because they've been with the company for so long. So it depends how long you're with the company and how big you are in the company. There isn't any specific, times a wrestler should be world champion. Maybe max 10.
I'm gonna elaborate on this. I think there should be a limit because, like, John Cena and Edge, one of my great feud for both of them, but the amount of times it kept switching hands, I think the number can be overdone. So if they were to cancel that down so the champion holds it longer, the number could be at a better pace.
Would you consider WCW and ECW as part of the Attitude Era or just exclusive to WWF? I'd say more exclusive to WWF, but at the same time, WCW was more part of the Monday Night Wars. They were doing some Attitude Era things, but it was WWE mainly that kind of did it, and they brought it over from ECW and give it a better production, etc. So I'd say they're part of the era, but they're not the Attitude Era. It was part of the Monday Night Wars era and, the booming business era that they had.
Yeah, the Attitude Era had its own stuff to work on compared to the other wrestling businesses. So the Attitude Era was on its own.
Pretty much. And the Attitude Era was Vincent Austin, pretty much, wasn't it? It was,
That's the way to put it, yes.
Blue-collar worker versus white-collar corporate. RFV089. To NJ, do you think that Christopher Nolan's Batman franchise is one of the best movie trilogies ever? Made alongside the Godfather and Toy Story films.
Christopher Nolan, yes, he gets a lot of compliments. I'd take nothing away from the other one. Jack Nicholson and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, all that was brilliant. Favourite movies growing up and stuff. But this trilogy that he made, it's a shame it only got 3. So I think, yes, it was one of the greatest collection of Batman movies.
To Mr. Parkin, do you think that if Nani never got sent off against Real Madrid in the round of 16 fixture in the Champions League, would Man United have gone on to win the game? I fully think that United would have gone on to win the game if he didn't get sent off. But it's funny, now we're at the final. I was like, this was months ago. This shows how behind we are with the questions. Who do you think is hotter? Kaylee Cuoco, who plays Penny in The Big Bang Theory, or Kobe Smulders, who plays Robin in How I Met Your Mother?
Robin.
Yeah, I must admit, I used to like Penny in the earlier series. Now I'm more of a Bernadette person, personally. But Robin, yeah, she is quite hot. Jack H123100. Who is better in the ring in your opinion, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels, I think Bret Hart is better in the ring, but Shawn Michaels has more to his in-ring style and ability. That's all I'll say.
I'm more Shawn Michaels, but just my opinion.
Do you think most smarks have the wrong idea of what a good in-ring worker is? I do, yes. Smarks think, well, people on the internet generally think that, technical wrestling is the way forward when, it's not really. I mean, it's more about the draw and, but there are so many things that they won't take into account. I totally agree with you. I think they have the wrong idea of what a good in-ring worker is. There's more to it. Psychology, it's not just wrestling. Psychology, storytelling, all that. Do you have any answer to that? Or
I just when it comes to stuff like this, yeah, people have their own opinions, but I'm a bit different. I just enjoy the entertainment of wrestlers as well as, of course, the extra planning where they're going.
Laurel Lewis, if WWE could divide casual fans and smarks, favourite wrestlers, who would be on each side? You'd have John Cena on the casuals, CM Punk on the smarks, probably have Sheamus and Orton on the casuals. You'd have Cody Rhodes on the smarks side. You'd probably have Miz on the actually Miz will be a mixture of both. I think Taker is well respected by the smarks as well, so you could put him on that side. But there is a big difference between what the casual fans would like and what the smarts like. Barrett is another example of people that the smarts will probably like, the casuals don't. You think of any others? Or?
I was thinking Ziggler, because obviously
Ziggler, yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one. And Daniel Bryan.
And Ryback could be
casuals as well. And I think also Daniel Bryan could be a bit of both now because of his Yes gimmick that got over, but that's a new thing.
Shield.
The Shield is definitely smarts. And could be casuals, depending on ratings. Do you like the new Crow Sting-like gimmick for AJ Styles? Yes. It was about time AJ Styles got a new gimmick, and this has made his gimmick refreshing, more interesting, and more compelling. So I'm all for this gimmick.
I think even though AJ Styles is represented strongly by TNA, so AJ Styles having the same character long term is what you represent him by, but this new one is definitely to give him a whole new look and probably taken different by fans, which would be good.
To freshen him up, which is needed. And also, do you like Linkin Park and Green Day, and what are some of your favourite songs by them? I'm a massive Green Day fan, and I'm a big Linkin Park fan. Green Day, I'd say Basket Case, 21 Guns, American Idiot, those songs. Linkin Park, Somewhere I Belong. Yeah, exactly. In the End was a good song as well. And some of I can't remember some of the recent stuff. In the Shadow of the Day, I like that song. So there are various songs. I've got all their albums anyway, so I like pretty much most of the songs off all their albums, really, to be honest. That's all I have to say. Crunchy Taco 117. Who do you believe will be Undertaker's final opponent? Get this a lot, don't we? Cena. Do you think the streak will never end? Nope. And do you think WrestleMania 30 will be his final WrestleMania, if not when? Could be if they want to make it into a big landmark.
To be honest, number one, I think that, again, it's not going to happen, but Kane could have been a final opponent. Not the last one, but one of the finals. And as for WrestleMania 30, I think the fact that we said last Q&A, it's been reported that he's in better shape than he's been in a while. I think the WWE are going to try and push as many more years they can.
They'll definitely put Taker in a big match at WrestleMania 30, though. Probably against John Cena. That's just what I think. Or Ryback, one of those two. Gaming Legend 1997. What is your favourite Undertaker moment? Favourite Undertaker moments? So many.
I'll go with one of his WrestleManias, probably when he goes against Edge, because the feuds that actually made the wrestler look good. So I'd say the one with Edge.
I'd say a lot of his WrestleMania entrances you could consider a favourite Undertaker moment. The moment when he retired, Shawn Michaels, was a great moment. There are so many. What about the moment where Kane got introduced? That was another great Undertaker moment, even though it's more about Kane. There's still an Undertaker moment. Hell in a Cell against Mankind is a great Undertaker moment in a way, because it was him and Mankind that made this really brutal, unique match.
A recent one, I should have gone for more of the history, but the recent one is when Undertaker and Triple H return on the same day, surprise back to the promo work. Brilliant.
Jamal Payne, what sports do you guys have there? We have all sports. We have football, cricket, tennis, table tennis, badminton, all sorts.
Mud wrestling.
Mud wrestling for the ladies. Do you think CM Punk will ever have the... Do you think CM Punk will ever be the legitimate face of WWE? No. I'm sorry, if you think CM Punk could be the top face of the WWE, I'm afraid you don't get business. That's the problem. CM Punk is a great wrestler and can be he kind of reminds me of Triple H. Never really the top guy because it was always Austin and Rock, but always around about the area where he can definitely stand out as a semi-top guy.
I think fans are upset by the fact that CM Punk can't pass or get to the place where Cena's at because they want Punk there, so they replace Cena, and Punk can be a hated and liked character. But I don't think he's going to do it because I don't think anyone's really going to be able to do it thanks to Cena. It's
business. That's what we have to look at it. It's all business. Superfan 931. Should the primetime players turn face?
Okay.
Does it really matter anymore? It doesn't really matter anymore.
We do need more tag teams, so turn them face might do something to them, but not enough long term.
I say what, Rufus Patterson Pancake was an awesome gimmick while it lasted for one episode of Raw. Sweet Light 18. Who was the better wrestler, HBK or Kurt Angle? Two great wrestlers there. Very hard to tear them apart.
This one, I said Shawn Michaels in the Bret Hart one. This one, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd still go with HBK because while Kurt Angle was a fantastic wrestler, I still think HBK had the ability of working different style matches. I think a little bit better than Kurt Angle. That's all I'll say about that. And what's your favourite mid-card feud in Attitude Era and Golden Era, PG Era? I think my favourite mid-card feud was probably the tag team championship feud between Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian.
That stood up quite strongly. I'm probably going to go with, when it comes to mid-card, it could be, again, the whole build-up of Triple H and Shawn Michaels with the Rock as well.
That was more main event though, wasn't it, really?
Well, when they went for the Intercontinental before...
Oh, you're talking about 98, 97... Oh, those times. Okay, I get you now.
That's the right time, yes.
Orton and Mick Foley was also a good mid-card feud as well. That helped put Foley on the map. That was when Orton was the Intercontinental Championship. And they had that Evolution versus Rock and Sock connection at WrestleMania. That was a great feud. Jamie Young 4. What are your worst WrestleMania What are your worst WrestleMania match endings of all time?
Miz.
That was it's just the whole match was terrible. The ending was a bit Miz versus Cena at WrestleMania 27.
It gave the chance Rock to come out in a surprise fashion. It got the crowd going, but still not a way to finish a WrestleMania match.
There was one where Hogan came in and won in about 20 seconds over Yokozuna after we just had a match with Bret Hart for 10 minutes.
Bret Hart Vince
was terrible. Just terrible match in general. Had a terrible finish. Carly, any match with Carly and Kane, like those two going. I
can't think of actual main event match that ended bad because the main event's normally paid off well.
It wasn't really do this WrestleMania matches, so we can pick any. Howard Starr, aka Howard the Man. What if Undertaker's streak never happened? Who would have been the Phenom if it wasn't for the Undertaker? No one. There wouldn't have been a gimmick like that. It's Undertaker just has had it so long.
Yeah, there's no one else that. If you say you've got a streak, that could be a different question, but the Phenom, no, it was actually specific for Taker.
Scott Wilde, what feud of Triple H's contained his best heel work?
Shawn Michaels.
The Shawn Michaels one, he has said there. The Triple H's best heel work. I think against The Rock as corporate with Vince McMahon and corporate Triple H. I think that was some of his. That was when he was just getting into that top guy while Austin was away kind of spot.
Going against Mick Foley because obviously you always try and get the best hand over Mick Foley.
That was during his corporate McMahon Helmsley era time, wasn't it as well? So I'd say McMahon Helmsley era. So that's that. And what your favourite feud? Your favourite Triple H feud? British Fist.
Shawn Michaels.
Mine would be with Cactus Jack. I just love that feud. It just sentimentally meant a lot to me as a wrestling fan.
Shawn Michaels number 1. Number 2, I really did like it. I've said it many times, the Autumn one.
This is a good question to end on, actually. Jack Gibbons, who do you guys want as the next Money in the Bank holder? You could have Ryback, you could have Fandango, you could have Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett. There are options, but none of them have been booked really in a way which would make you think Money in the Bank winner.
Shield member. Come on! Come on!
That would be an idea.
It would.
I would say that. That's been another Q&A from us, British Fist.
Touching.
And 2 weeks' time, expect an hour-long Q&A for our 2-year anniversary. Keep sending us questions using the all those, bits of writing down in the description box below.
And thank you very much for watching. I love the Q&As, but all we need is more questions, more viewers, and for you to enjoy it. And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, and for the questions we've been given and the answers we have said, till next time, YouTubers, goodbye.